Hey guys, in this video we are going to use all the things we've learned in the last few videos to flesh out the rest of our wireframe here. Let's see, so we've already created the header, we've got our app template, we need to get this cart summary up and running, we've got all our routing, we need to change the layout of the catalog and create our catalog item component, then we'll create our catalog detail page, and our cart is pretty much good to go. So the first thing I've done here is in our source directory, I created a directory called assets, and I've got this little product image placeholder there. I'm going to jump over to our gulp build process, and right here in the copy task, I'm just going to add another task, get everything from the assets directory, and move it to the dist/assets directory. So let's go ahead and run our gulp process. We should see our assets directory now. So we've got our product image there. Next thing we want to do is get this cart summary component up and running. So for that, we're going to need our app store and our store watch mixin, and drop our mixin right here. We're going to pass that something called cart totals. Now we're going to need to create that, and we kind of have a choice here. We could create all the logic for summing up the quantities and cost of all the items in our cart, but my feeling is the less logic you have in your component, the better. So we're going to create a function called cart totals, and we're going to return appstore.getCart totals. We're going to have that return an object with the quantity and the cost as keys in that object, and then we can just display that right here. Okay, so we are going to need to create that in our app store. I'm just going to drop a quick function right into our app store there, and then a method into our app store object called getCartTotals, and that'll return cart totals. So now if we jump back to our app cart summary, whoops, totally messed something up. Let's take a look. Quantity of null. So let's take a look at our code. So right here, this should actually be mixins, and this we set up as total, not cost. Let's reload that. Okay, so now we can see our cart summary component is updating as we add items. We'll jump to the cart, reduce some of these, and everything's updating just fine. Let's add a continue shopping button here that'll bring us back to catalog. So here we'll drop in our link component, and then this table we'll wrap in a div so that we can add another component outside of that table. And it'll just be our link with an href to our root directory. So continue shopping. And now we're looking good. Okay, so let's move to our catalog. Now we need to lay this out 4 across, it looks like, and so we're going to use a little bootstrap to get this done. So that's going to be in our catalog. So here, rather than returning that table row, we're going to return our catalog, what do we call that? Catalog item component. We're going to pass it the item. This will, rather than being a table, this will be a div with the class name of row. I think we're looking good there. We just need to add our actual catalog item component. Okay, let's jump over to our catalog item. You know what? Our catalog is going to need our store watch mixin. So let's drop that right here. So we just need to drop in our store watch mixin. That's looking good. Alright, so onto this catalog item, and here I'm going to paste in some code really quick. I'll walk you through it. So we've just got a div surrounding everything. I've got this style of item style, and let me grab that really quick. So that's just a border on the bottom, a padding on the bottom of 15 pixels. Then we've got our title in H4. And we've got our image, which is always going to be that product.png we added to our assets directory. We've got our summary, our cost, and then in this span, if the item's in the cart, we're going to show the quantity of that item plus the string in cart, and we're going to do that in text success, which will give it the green from our wireframe. Then we've got a button group here with a link that's linking to the item. That'll be our catalog details page. Then we've got another one here that just says add the item to the cart. So in this one we are going to need React, our add to cart component, and our link component. Let's take a look at how that looks so far. Reload, and cool, we've got that. Whoops, messed something up on my link button here. So let's just take a look at our add to cart component, and here we need to add some bootstrap. And that should do it. Let's run our gulp process one more time. Reload our page, and there we go. Everything's looking good. So let's jump over to our catalog details page, where we're actually going to need a lot of the things that we had for the catalog page. So let's just copy these over. And that looks about right. Now this one's going to be a little bit tricky, because what we need to do is create a function that gets the specific catalog item. So what we're going to end up doing, is passing in our entire component. And let me just write up this code really quick. This will be this item. So that's our variable. Once we identify it, we're going to say app store.get catalog. What we want to do is just cycle through each of those. And we're going to say if, item.id, we're going to need to convert that to a string, equals component.props.item. Then we're just going to say this item equals item. Then we can return item, this item. Now the problem that we're going to run into is when we try to use our mixins, we don't really have a way in the StoreWatch mixin to add an extra argument. So what we're going to do is jump over to our StoreWatch mixin, and rather than just calling the callback, we're going to send an argument of this to the callback. So that will actually be our component. So when our component comes back in, we just test each item in the catalog, and let me get rid of that typo there, to see if our item in our component props matches the ID of the item from the catalog. And let's drop this right there. Now we're not going to need catalog item, and this is going to be like that. Save that there. We can drop in our mixins, and here in our render method, we can actually copy all this out of the catalog item and use that to get started. So we're not going to need to worry about the size or the width of the column. We'll make this a little bigger. Here we'll do the description rather than the summary. And let's see, all of these that say props are going to need to be state. We'll make our buttons a little bit bigger. And then on our link, rather than being a link to the item, this will be a link back to the home page. So we'll just say continue shopping, and we'll drop that after the add to cart. Save this. Let's run our gulp process again. See if we mess anything up. Looking good. Load up our application. Learn more. Cool. We can add to cart. We can continue shopping. We can add to cart from here. We can go to our cart, continue shopping. All of that is working really well. So looking back at our wireframe, I think we have completed all the components that we need for this application.